Welcome to the Art of Connection, Muslim Matters Edition. I am your host, Bilal Khan, and this piece is about the son of a duck, Ibn Battuta. He's a famous traveler from back in the day who traversed the globe, essentially, and documented his journey. Famous book, Rihla, which is The Journey, essentially. That's the title of the book. So one of the things I was reflecting on it was that Ibn Battuta, he is someone who was about 21 years old before he embarked on his epic journey. This guy, he didn't leave without any skills or basic knowledge. He, in fact, was more than capable to serve as a judge in a judicial system in the places that he went. Think about it, he's 21 years old or like early 20s. He's simply a college graduate, but his level of mastery and expertise in law and logic and language was so well that he could go ahead and work. And this is what actually allowed him to continue his travels going forward. Not to say that even in the places that he went, he didn't continue to learn from the people in the places that he was at. What were the prerequisites of knowledge growing up that these people had that enabled them to be able to do that? Sometimes we hear stories about scholars who went out and started basically engaging in learning later in their life, in their 40s and 50s. When we hear about those stories, sometimes we say, oh, you know what? There is hope for us. It's not like they were starting at the bottom when they started embarking on their journey to learn and become, knowledgeable. And they had a foundation. The question is, what was that foundation? I would assume that they had a foundation in knowing the Quran, the scripture, having mastery of the language, having the equivalent of what is maybe an Islamic sciences degree and a concentration. I mean, that was basically Ibn Battuta's background. He essentially had a bachelor's in Islamic studies with a concentration in Maliki law. And that's what allowed him to be able to serve as a judge in some of the scenarios. But then the question is, what is the prerequisites that perhaps we need to start implementing in the lives of ourselves and our children going forward? And mind you, it's not just intellectual foundations. People back then, they also had the physical capacity to be able to perform and work, to be able to traverse the globe. It's also physically taxing, considering it wasn't like trains, planes, and automobiles. They were doing it on horseback and on foot. And so that takes a lot of energy. And think about it. You're out there, you're out in the open. You need to know how to hunt. You need to know how to cook your food. You need to know how to engage with people. You need to know more than one language. Most Americans, they only know English, or they know English, or if they're from an immigrant background, they know two languages. They know English and they know their parents' tongue. But if you talk to people in Europe, you talk to people in other parts of the world, they know 3-4 languages, and that's the foundation. And so when those people come to the US, I think they're at a much greater advantage than folks like us who are pretty much raised in this country. So the question that comes up is, what do you think would make for a good foundational prerequisite, whether it be intellectual or financial or social or career-wise, even physically speaking in terms of fitness and health? What are some of these prerequisites that people should strive for today, basic foundations that before they become adults, they should have these things, or once they're ready to embark on their own, these are the facets that they should have? It's a question from me to you. I would love to hear your thoughts. Let me know. May you be blessed with peace, safety, security, and freedom now and the days to come. I'll see you soon.